3 generations and more than 70 years of continuous book sales. That is the story behind Source Bookstore. Hello, located in downtown Davenport.
Yeah, joining us from Source is Stephen James Zabornik. Stephen, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on because this bookstore has quite the rich history in the Quad Cities, and we're talking about this going back to the 1930s and 1940s.
1939, George
1939.
Piccios started selling books in East Moline out of his front room. And 85 years, yeah, it's a long, rich tradition. The Piccios family's been succeeding at selling books through thick and through thin. When, you know, the internet happened, COVID, the big box stores, they maintained their cultural heritage of selling books, and it's a pretty incredible opportunity to be a part of it. Ann and I are feeling very blessed.
Through it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, from what I was reading about, it's super important for you to kind of carry on some of the same traditions and, you know, as the family did for all of those years. Why is it important to you?
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Things will change organically. I can't buy the same books, you know, that Dan bought. He has a different cultural awareness than I have. He has a depth of experience that I don't have, but I will learn my own ways of book buying, and so the store will change organically.
Yeah. I have to ask too, because you brought this up with the big box stores and you know and the internet and all of that stuff. It really got me thinking. I mean, there's a lot to do with the community as well, and you know the relationship that this family had built with our community over those years, where it's like they have to want to support a business like that, and they do.
The store has its own life.
Yeah.
It has its own family. We're stepping into something that's way bigger than us. That store belongs to the entire region.
Yeah.
It doesn't really belong to us. We're just going to steward it until hopefully somebody wants to take it over someday.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you know, there's nothing like opening up a book and holding it in your hands and flipping the pages. And you know, I think people still crave that feeling.
Yes.
And that's why a bookstore like yours is needed. So you brought just a sampling of the thousands, tens of thousands of books that you might have?
The rough count is 100,000.
100,000.
Wow.
Okay, wow, I was really undershooting that.
Okay, so these are some classics that I'm seeing them on the screen. Herman Melville, Huckleberry Finn. So why did you decide to bring some of these classic books today?
Well, it has been my impression that classics are back in. We've sold quite a few classic literature books to the youth. I say the youth, 20s and 30s, a surprising amount. And since we buy, sell, and trade, I brought these as an example, just to show that we don't just buy collectible, rare, out-of-print books.
Sure.
We also can use mass market paperbacks.
Yeah.
And trade-size paperbacks.
Okay.
And, you know, old hardbacks and new hardbacks. We can use them in all formats. So if folks have classics collecting dust on their shelves, we'd love to see them in the store. Bring them down, we'll buy them.
That is awesome to know. And as you know, as far as you know, you're seeing younger people wanting to check out the classics. Why do you think that is? I mean, is there something that you think might be behind that trend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the modern era, modernity has foisted upon us supposed techno-utopia that feels fake, I think, to a lot of young people. And I grew up without the internet until high school, and so I was immersed in books.
Right.
I had a library card, and I was immersed in the ditches and the hills and the dales, and riding a bicycle and stuff like that. But the younger folks today, I think, missed out on that, and they crave it in a very real way.
They know they missed out on it, because I think too, you kind of look at pop culture and movies that they're seeing and they're going, that wasn't my childhood at all. And they're like, well, how can I make that, you know, my present, which is, super interesting.
But these stories, you know, they're the story of the human experience.
Yeah.
And they're very real, and they're very important.
Yeah.
What do you think is different about Source than other bookstores, locally or nationally?
Well, I think it takes about 50 years for a bookstore to be worth visiting, being in business, for a bookstore to be worth going into, not to denigrate anybody else's store. But after 85 years, there's a depth of the collection there that you might find a book that was priced in 1980, tucked in a corner somewhere that I haven't even seen yet.
And
Sure, yeah.
Which is incredible.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels different. It feels old.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to check out the source, the store is located at 232 West 3rd Street in Davenport. The address there on your screen. It's open every day of the week. We have the hours on your screen as well. And you can also check them out, Source Bookstore on Facebook. Stephen, this was great. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.